Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Coach Troy, and this is my video training diary as I document my progress getting ready for the Ironman 70.3 Oceanside next year after about a 12-year layoff from the sport of triathlon and getting back into it I'm 53, so kind of a little bit past middle age. And just want to share my story because I know a lot of people out there are doing the same thing, so it'd be nice to compare notes. It's always great to be active no matter how old you are, and when you're a triathlete early in life, I guess you're a triathlete all your life, or an athlete. I should say, if you're athletic, hopefully you'll be athletic your entire life, no matter what. But age certainly is a game changer, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, and I'm having a challenge with it, to be honest. So yesterday, I think I mentioned earlier, my hamstring, I tweaked my right hamstring. So running has been put on the back burner, at least momentarily. So I'm not really happy about that, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it. And it was interesting. I went out on a run 2 days ago, and the hamstring, seized up on me again a little bit. It wasn't a fast run, and only 2.5 miles. And it was amazing how sore my legs were just after the run. So the body just is coming back slowly, very slowly, slower than I thought it would, truthfully, which is a little bit frustrating. The other interesting thing is having good days and bad days. Some of my training sessions, I feel great. Excuse my, pardon me. Come here. That's Gunner, my Doberman. Some days I feel great. Other days I just feel absolutely terrible. And it's a really interesting distinction between the two. Some days great, some days terrible. When I was younger, I just remember not all days were great, but you just always felt pretty good. But in advancing age, and I'm sure it'll get even more so. And you can tell me if you're older than I am. Tell me your stories. I'd love to hear them. It's just harder to feel good in the training sessions, especially the run. That's what I'm finding. Okay, so. Yesterday I haven't had a lot of time the past couple of days because of work obligations. So yesterday I just hopped on the Stages bike and I did a steady state ride with some bigger wattage output efforts. And again, you can check out my Strava and see them. These were up around 350 watts, but in a big year, 75 RPMs, that range. And my heart rate didn't get up a whole lot. And that was important to me. And I'll tell you why. The day before, I'd done a steady state, like 220, 225 watt, but kept the cadence up over 90 RPMs. And this is something that's really concerning me, actually. And I actually went to see a cardiologist last year about my heart rate gets irregular, and after a workout stays up really high, like unusually high. And as all of you who are athletes know, you have a keen sense of self-awareness. You kind of know yourself pretty well. You know how you feel, your heart. I used to be able to have a resting heart rate in the upper 30s, and then I could get my heart rate up around threshold, which was in the 160s, and literally within a minute, it'd be back down below 110. Nowadays, that's not the case. Nowadays, it gets right up there, and in some instances, some days, it stays up when I'm done and recovering. And I can be standing there, and you can actually see my heart beating out of my chest. And my girlfriend Joy is a nurse, and she has one of those oxygen sensors. So we put that on my finger, look at my oxygen saturation, my heart rate, and my heart rate's 140 to 150 beats per minute, and that's after 5-10 minutes after my session, my workout is finished, and I'm cooled down, and I feel fine. Only my heart rate's very irregular, beating out of my chest, and that happens more frequently than I like. Got the go-ahead from a cardiologist, so everything's okay, apparently, and had some pretty good testing with that, and that was a year ago. And since then, I've done the 24 hours of the old Pueblo as well, so I've put myself through some stress, but it's happened more and more often, and it's really uncomfortable, and it's certainly keeping me back from, doing more work. But this is what happened tonight. So I did the trainer again tonight. I didn't have a lot of time. So I did a 45-minute workout. And I put in some 300-watt efforts, some intervals, just kind of random intervals, a couple minutes long, that kind of thing. And what I found was around 20 minutes into the workout, and mind you, most of my workouts are short duration, 30 minutes on the bike, 20 minutes on the bike, nothing long. My weekend workouts are longer, weekday workouts are really short. So after that 20 minutes, I started feeling that heart rate thing come back again, going really high. I was like, oh man, this workout's pretty much over. I'm going to call it quits. The interesting thing is in the next interval, I started feeling better. And then my heart rate started coming back down into normal ranges. And then when I was done the workout, and I'd done a series of intervals, no issue recovering. And it was pretty cool. My heart rate's right back down to normal recovery, and recovering pretty quickly. So I don't know what that means. If any of you are cardiologists and you have some advice around that, or you're used to working with aging athletes who have been doing this stuff for a long time and probably, have some heart issues because of the endurance, the high intensity, high volume endurance work we've done most of our lives, I'd be curious to hear from you and hear your assessment. But anyway, here I am, feeling good. So who knows? So that's all there. I didn't get to run today. Strength training tomorrow, probably do some treadmill work tomorrow, a couple miles, and maybe hop on the bike a little bit. All condensed into about an hour and a half of work after the work day. And that's kind of my Thursday routine as of late. Somebody asked me about nutrition, and I really appreciate that. How am I eating? And, I always eat pretty well, I think. I'm very conscious of what I eat. So I eat a pretty healthy, try to eat whole foods, try to avoid sugary foods and things like that as much as possible. Try to avoid whole grains and white flours, floury foods, like the starchy carbs, that kind of thing. Although I'm a moderation kind of guy, so you will catch me eating sweet foods, and I love my chocolate and I love my bourbon and my beer. But moderation, that's what my motto is. So nothing extreme, but I try to eat well and, not overindulge in anything. So that's kind of my main thing. I'll go into more detail. I'm running out of time here, so I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, thoughts, you'd like to share your story with me, please do. If you have any comments about why my bike is crooked here, feel free to share that as well. I know I need to straighten that out. But that's all I have for you tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.